Special thanks to Sister Shanice from the Sister Shanice Show for inspiring this video. Imagine Africa before the invaders, thriving cities, ancient kingdoms, art and science flourishing under African skies. But then, strange ships arrive, not with friendship but with shackles, greed and a secret agenda. The so-called Charter of Imperialism, never written, always enforced, set out to steal Africa's future. See, the West didn't come as partners. Their motto was divide, conquer, loot, and rule. Enslave millions, plunder gold and diamonds, redraw the world, all for profit, never justice. Fast forward to 1884. In Berlin, Europe's leaders held a meeting. No African at the table. They sliced Africa into pieces like a cake. Lines on a map splitting families, erasing cultures, and ignoring every African voice. They promised civilization. What they brought was violence, theft, and humiliation. It was a conspiracy, not a conference. And Africa is still paying the price. After World War II, same story. At Yalta, Africa's fate was decided, again without Africans. The superpowers played chess with our homelands, trapping us in Cold War games and puppet regimes. Our future, mortgaged for someone else's power. The League of Nations and later the UN talked about peace and freedom, but mostly for themselves. Africa got mandates, protectorates, and aid, always with strings attached. The laws of the world helped the powerful stay powerful. Our lands managed, our voices ignored. And today, look around. Borders that make conflict inevitable. Economies built to ship wealth out, not lift us up. Billions made from Africa's pain, poverty left behind. This isn't just history, it's now. But here's the truth. Africa is rising. We can reclaim our story, teach real history, expose the crimes, celebrate our heroes. We can redraw our future, fixing borders, building economies for Africans, not outsiders. We can nationalize our resources, invest in our own businesses, and unite as one Pan-African people. We can demand justice, reparations, a seat at the global table. The Charter of Imperialism, it was never for us. But together we can make it history. Africa's story is not one of defeat, but of hope, unity, and power. Let's rewrite our future starting today. Now let us lay bare the so-called Charter of Imperialism, not a real document, but a satirical exposé of the unspoken rules that shaped Africa's fate. Imagine it as a secret manual passed from hand to hand in the shadows of Berlin, London, and Paris. Each section, each article reveals the blueprint for domination. First, the general provision. Article 1. All lands not bearing a European flag shall be considered terra nullius empty, ready for the taking. Article 2. The interests of the indigenous are subordinate to the ambitions of the empire. Next, the political regime. Article 3. Local rulers may be maintained provided they serve as puppets. Article 4. Divide and rule shall be the guiding principle. Manufacture difference, then exploit it. Then treaties and agreements. Article 5. Any treaty signed with an African leader is binding unless inconvenient to the empire. Article 6. Treaties between empires override the rights of all others. On to fundamental rights. Article 7. The right to self-determination is reserved for Europeans. Article 8. Any resistance shall be met with overwhelming force, labeled as civilizing missions. Public finances follow. Article 9. All profits from resources, labor, and land shall flow outward to banks in London, Paris, Brussels. Article 10. Debt shall be imposed, ensuring perpetual dependence. Military treaties. Article 11. Defense agreements shall require African territories to provide soldiers and resources for imperial wars. Article 12. Any local army is a threat. Disarm, disband, control. Finally, international agreements. Article 13. At all global summits, African voices are present only as spectators. Article 14. The empire reserves the right to intervene politically, economically, militarily at will. This, the unwritten charter, enforced by force and financed by law and by lie. But exposing it is the first step to tearing it up forever. Please like and share this video. And please don't forget to subscribe for more Pan-African content. Thank you for watching.